He's meant everything. I saw a quote where Alex Caravan was talking about Hurley and talking about how he was the most impactful person in his life, and I would say a lot of the same for Coach. Just what he's done for me as a person, as a player, how he's made me better, how he's challenged me in ways I didn't know I could be challenged, and forced me to really get a lot out of myself that I didn't even know I had. But just what he means to me as like a person, a mentor, a coach, just a figure I can go up to and go up to his office and talk just about anything. And we just have this great relationship to where we have open dialogue and can communicate and really just, I don't know, have a great relationship.
And how does CD complement that?
A lot of the same. Like I can go up to her office, chat whenever I can't tell who I get into it more with. Like we just get into it about different things. But no, I would trust them with my life. Anytime I need something, I know I can go to them. Any words of advice, anything I have questions on. Just talking about school, how life is going, how my family is. Like they really care about us as people. And basketball second. So CD is great. She just makes people be professional in all aspects of life. And it's stuff we're going to carry with when we leave UConn in our pro careers and whatever we're doing, whether we play basketball or not. It's just like the things that they teach you in life, you carry with everywhere.
Where do you think that Geno would be without CD?
Lost. I feel like every man needs a woman to be around and keep them in check. So they're really a great duo because they both bring different things to the table and they both help each other be better. And they have, like I would say, I have a great relationship with Coach where we have open dialogue. They have great relationships where they can challenge each other, hold each other accountable, and also support each other. So, yeah, there's not one without the other.
Paige, what kind of relationships have you built with players who came through the program in the years before you? There's going to be a lot of legendary players around tomorrow. I wonder, are there a particular few you feel very close with?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it started off like they were my idols and like I was super nervous, super scared, super shy to talk to them, intimidated by them, but to get to know them as people, they're very welcoming. It's really a sisterhood here at UConn, so like they'll be there when you need them, when you need words of advice, when you need words of encouragement, when you need to pick me up. And just if you need anything, they're always there to communicate with you and be there with you every step of the way. And so just to have that relationship with them and be able to communicate with them and know that they have our backs through everything, it means a lot.
Who would you say you connect with most often?
Probably Sue. We saw each other a lot this off season, and we both work with Susan King-Borchard, so also Dee and Stewie do as well. But Sue's been a great person that I can look to for like leadership advice, just her qualities as a person, as a player, is something that I look up to as well. So I think me and Sue are pretty close, but we each all have a unique relationship with each other.
Hey, does the game tomorrow feel different than any other game? Does it feel like a tournament game or something like that? How special it is?
Honestly, no. Coach does a really good job of having us prepare for every game like it's the most important game for the rest of the season. So we go into the game heading in with that mindset that every game is important and every game we're trying to get better and keep building on what we did the prior game. But obviously with the celebrations, the alumni coming back, there's a different feel to it, but we're going to have the same approach.
When we were out here last week, we were asking some of the underclassmen what their first impressions of Geno were. Do you remember your first impression or early impressions of Geno?
Man, it's so long ago, right? I would say when I was getting recruited, I was very scared, I would say, timid, shy. Like I didn't want to say the wrong thing and have him not recruit me anymore, so I was like very tentative with what I was saying and then doing. But when I stepped on campus, he was very welcoming, but also you could feel the sense of the challenging and the support. There's always an equal balance between that. But really, I think my first impression was I was pretty scared of him.
Scary was the word that came up a lot, but then on the flip side, it was, here's when I felt comfortable. So do you remember, too, kind of when you started to feel comfortable and what he did that made you feel like you belonged?
Yeah, I mean, the first couple weeks at practice, I was probably a little nervous, and so he would pull me to the side and be like, you're okay, like, we understand, like, it's hard to be a freshman here, especially coming in, you're nervous, you want to make all the right plays, do all the right things, and you sort of get ahead of yourself in that way, so I would probably say the first couple weeks of practice.
40 years, it's basically double your existence. Can you imagine doing anything with someone for 40 years as your coaches have?
Yeah, no, that's crazy. We talk about all it's like Rebecca Lobo's daughter is now a manager on the team, so it's like to see the times that have changed and the people that have come through and all that he's stayed for, and he's been coaching, almost as long as I've been, double as long as I've been born. He's been coaching here, so it's really crazy to think about.
Paige, did you watch the draft lottery over the weekend?
No, I did not.
No. How did you, I mean, I'm sure you saw like the results. I know you're probably focused in on this season, but how have you just, I guess, dealt with any, I don't want to say WNBA distractions, but WNBA conversation and in terms of how you fit into it and everything?
I think I mostly dealt with it by focusing on having a great practice today. So that's about it.
What would you say is, go ahead, Maggie.
What's it been like just to see Azzy get closer and closer to returning?
It's very exciting. Like, as somebody who's gone through it and experienced it, everybody has their own unique journey, but just to have that excitement, having the light at the end of the tunnel, and you see all your hard work coming into fruition and getting to play on the court again, doing what you love again, it's just a level of excitement for her. So it's a great time for her, and we're all excited for her.
You're standing behind photos of some of the greatest players of all time. Do you ever take time to reflect on the legacy that's created here, and does it take a certain special person to handle all that?
Yeah, I mean, you're surrounded by it every single day. You walk through this gym, you walk through these hallways, the greatness that's on the walls, the greatness that's in the practice facility, in Gamble as well. Like, there's obviously a legacy that you want to live up to and uphold with what they've built, what the coaching staff has built. And so we wear the jersey with great pride, in that we're not just representing UConn, but we're representing the players that have come before, the foundations that the coaches have built. So it's very humbling, and you just get a sense of gratitude to be a part of this program. And so every single day you get to put on that UConn uniform is what you're thinking about.
How would you assess your first 3 games of the season?
I would say we have a lot to build on. Obviously, when you can learn when you're winning, it's better. But to look back on the film, find the areas where we need to get better at, and continue to build on what we've been doing well, I think has been huge. I think we started out games pretty strong, so that's been a strong suit. Obviously, I think our zone offense could be a little bit better when UNC switched to that zone. So, and then our defense and our rebounding has got to get better, and then our offensive flow. I mean, I guess there's a lot of things we can keep getting better at, but we're building. We're focused on getting better every single day at practice, and so that's the focus.
How about you personally?
All right. I always feel like there's room for improvement in all areas of my game. Continue to try to be a great leader, setting the example with how hard we play and the tone in which we play and the intensity and the fire that we play with is something that I'm trying to focus on and lead in that way, and continue to use my voice to help out the younger crew and just get them acclimated to the system and playing games at UConn. So room for improvement.
When you have 60 players, former players coming here, what does that say about the program?
Just that we're a family, and even though you leave UConn, you graduate, you go to your next career path, you always have a home here, and everybody's always welcome. They'll always have a spot for you. They'll always have tickets. You're always welcome to practice, games, whatever, and it's really a family.
When you said that Sue was someone you went to talk to about leadership, what was some of the advice she gave you in that front?
I think really that you can do it in your own way. Like, you can find what's best for you. There's not like a perfect recipe for leadership. It's how you want to do it. Obviously, there's some characteristics that stick out, but just find the way that you want to do it and embrace that, and continue to get better at that every day.
How would you describe then your brand of leadership?
I think, like I was talking about before, if there was like an axis of challenge and support, finding that perfect dot in the middle of where you're challenging your teammates, challenging yourself, but also as much as you're holding them accountable, you're supporting them as well and boosting them with confidence, as much as challenging them and trying to get them to be better. So I think balancing those things, for sure.
Geno was like kind of downplaying this whole thing. He said like the former players have no business being here on Wednesday, and you know, but he's getting like ice cream named after him and stuff. But it is a pretty big deal to become the all-time wins leader in college basketball history. Like, do you see him like just like downplaying it? Is that just part of his personality?
Yeah, I mean, he gives credit to everybody around him, and he doesn't really take it for himself, but what he's built here, it's here because of him. So he definitely downplays it. He doesn't want to do the whole thing, the celebration, the goats, the ice cream. Like, it's all extra to him, but he deserves it, and we want to celebrate him because he doesn't, I guess, celebrate himself a lot. So everyone around him will make sure they do that job.
Paige, it feels like there's an ease to the way that you're playing right now. Do you feel like you're having more fun on the court than you were able to at this point last year?
Yeah, I think I'm at a better mind frame, I would say, and just relaxing, focusing on the things that I can control, and being more process-oriented versus result-oriented, because just sticking to the process, going day by day, not looking at the past, not looking into the future, but staying where my feet are, I think has been huge.
You guys have almost double the amount of available bodies this right now than you did at the end of last season. How helpful has it been just to have more rest and to have more of a rotation?
It's crazy. We talk about it at practice, like, wow, these lines are long. Like, everybody's here, everybody's involved. Like, we're not gasping for air after every drill because there's no subs. So it's been crazy. It's been an adjustment, and I feel like a lot of us, the first 2 games, we probably got more rest than we did the entire last season. So it causes you to sacrifice and be willing to give up whatever role you had last season because it's an entirely different team, entirely different roster this season. So it's made us better at, definitely for sure, having the amount of bodies. I think we can practice harder, we can learn more, we can do more reps, and so I think it's done well for us so far.
Thanks. Geno said after the game the other night that every player who's come through over the years and helped him build this win total should feel like a great an actor in a great play. Does that hit home for you? Would that be an accurate way to think about things?
Yeah, I think we're all just a part of what he's built, and everybody's had their own legacy. Everybody's built their own path and had their own journey here. And yeah, it's crazy to look at how the times have changed and who's been here, who's came, who's left, who's new, who's old. Like, it's pretty crazy to think that we're just all a part of a great program and a great legacy they built.
Hey, did the last game I was watching 5 feet and I saw UConn number 5, and I saw another 5 feet, another UConn number 5. I couldn't walk more than 10 feet without seeing someone wearing their number in the stands, whether they're 6 years old or they're 60. Do you take note of that? Is it important to you that you know, people really look up to you and are willing to you know, represent you and UConn by wearing your shirts and your jerseys?
Yeah, it's a blessing. I never want to take it for granted. People spending their own money to come support at games, to wear our jerseys, to get our gear, whatever it may be. And so for them to do that, for them to support us, it means everything. It's a huge reason why we came here to UConn, because of the support that the people bring. And so I'm extremely grateful for it. I never want to look into the stands and take it for granted. So every time I just want to soak it in and just be grateful for where I am.
Do you remember the first time you saw that, and did you have a reaction, like when you saw someone wearing a Paige Bueckers shirt?
Yeah, probably in high school. It was crazy because my high school jersey wasn't really for sale, so somebody had to like custom make it, and so that was pretty cool.
How do you deal with all the distractions like the draft and the, you know, and the name, image, and likeness? Like, how do you deal with all the distractions? Like you said, just focus on practice.
Yeah, I would say just focus on what's in front of me. Try to win this day. And this day includes practice, preparing for the game tomorrow, a good session in the weight room, recovering, and getting a good night's rest.
Thanks, Paige.
Thank you.